talk, I'm not offering anything entirely new, just reflections, shaped by the people I've met, the books I've read, and the journeys I've experienced. Everyone here knows to speak, but how many of us actually know how to create genuine connections? Think about it. We talk every single day in classrooms, at home, with friends, online. Words are everywhere. But how often do those words actually reach someone? Or how often do we walk away from a conversation feeling truly understood? Not just heard, but understood. And I'll be honest, there are times when I feel like I have the most ingenious ideas, the right words, yet they don't land the way I expect them to. And that is when I realized reaching the destination is not about moving forward. It's about how we move, what guides us, and who we move with. Think about any journey reaching somewhere. You need three things. You need something that shows you the path, a map, something that helps you decide your direction, a compass, and most importantly, you need the ability to walk the journey with others, to understand them, to connect with them. That is social literacy. As I continue, I want you to keep one question in your mind. Not something you answer immediately, but something you sit with. Because sometimes the most powerful ideas do not arrive as answers. They begin as questions. What if you open your eyes one day and found yourself in a forest, not knowing how you got there or where to go next? Just one question. What do you need? A map, a compass, or a companion? Envision yourself standing alone in the middle of a forest, an enormous one. The trees rise high above you. Their branches are woven together to form a canopy overhead. Paths stretch in almost every direction, twisting, splitting, and disappearing into the unknown. You have absolutely no idea which one will lead you out. And now, like a guiding light in the dark, someone hands you a map, a detailed one. Every path marked, every turn explained. Comforting, isn't it? With the map in your hands, uncertainty fades. You just go along with it, step by step, until you reach the end of your journey. But now, same forest, same situation. Except this time, instead of a map, you're given a compass. No more instructions, no more marked paths, just a small needle pointing north. And the journey suddenly changes. You cannot simply follow the directions anymore. You must think, you must observe, you must explore. Every step becomes a decision. Now, ask yourself this question. In which world are we living in today? The world with a clear map, or a world where we are navigating with nothing more than a compass? For a long time, life came with something like a map. Study this subject, choose this profession, follow this sequence of steps, stability, career. It wasn't without imperfections, but it was predictable. But today, careers appear and disappear like my motivation on a random Monday morning. Technology evolves faster than we can actually keep up. 1 minute, we are feeling like experts, and the next minute, we are asking kids for help. Artificial intelligence is reshaping everything. And the maps, once we relied upon, are slowly becoming outdated. Think about the upcoming generations. The jobs they will pursue doesn't exist today. The problems they will confront are still unfolding before our eyes. The technologies they will depend upon are still hidden in some laboratories or in research centers. So, how do you give someone a map for a world that doesn't exist today? You can't. So, here, instead of giving them maps, we must give them something else, a compass. Not something which tells them what to do, but something which lets them decide. Curiosity, creativity, and the ability to think for themselves. Because in an uncertain world, those matter more than instructions. Moving forward, I'd like to share one of my experiences. Like the dust of snow in Frost's poem that turns his day around, this small moment transformed my perspective, the way I look at this world. A few days back, I was standing near a small roadside stall, drinking tender coconut, and I started talking to the woman there. Nothing serious, just a normal conversation. And a sudden spark of curiosity made me ask this, the one that changed everything. I asked her this simple question, Auntie, if you could travel anywhere in this world, where would you go? She didn't think. She just smiled at me and said Kashi. Not Paris, not New York, or not some random place trending online. Just Kashi. And something about that answer felt different. Because it wasn't influenced, it wasn't suggested, and certainly it did not come from a screen. It came from somewhere deeper, from her life, from her memories, and even from her beliefs. What if it's 2037 now, and we are asking the same question to a little one? The answers might still be amazing, but it may also be something they've seen online, what appeared on their feed, or what went viral. And there's nothing wrong with it. But it raises a question. Are we choosing what we want? Or are we chasing what is showing in our feeds? And this is where a compass reflects its true purpose. While a map shows the paths others have taken, a compass asks, where do you want to go? A compass doesn't follow trends, likes, or what others are doing. It simply points towards your own direction, your own path, and your own purpose. And that's what makes life worth it. The woman may not have traveled the world, but somewhere in her life, a compass has formed. And that pointed very clearly. Think about the generation beta. They'll not be walking, but swimming in the fanciest technology ever. Algorithms, recommendations, predictions. In an optimized world, will they learn how to find and use their own compass? Because the future they are stepping into isn't a straight road. It is a forest, complex, unpredictable, and full of possibilities. Those who reach their destination in that forest aren't those who memorized the map. They are those who decided to trust their direction, even when it's not obvious. But direction alone is never adequate. Even with a compass in your hands, you can still get lost. So, what do Generation Beta really need? They need a map as well. A map that shows you the path of kindness and empathy. The world they are growing up shouldn't be one of constant comparison, toxicity, or pressure. It should be a world where they are free to thrive. A world which lets them a room to grow, explore, and survive with kindness and hope. If a compass gives direction, then it is social literacy, which helps you understand the terrain you're walking through. Because no journey is ever taken alone. A child learns to speak before it learns to read. It learns to understand emotions before it can understand equations. It recognizes smile, tone, and a pause in a conversation long before it can interpret a textbook. This ability to read people, understand emotions, and navigate relationships is what we call social literacy. And for generations, they developed naturally through playground arguments, through shared meals, through unplanned conversations, through moments of disagreements, misunderstandings, or reconciliation. But now, something subtle is changing. Generation Beta will grow up in a world where interactions are increasingly mediated through screens. Technology connects us across continents, but it distances us from the depth of human understanding. And this is where the significance of social literacy becomes profound. We would have come across two kinds of people. One, who says all the right words, yet something feels off. And the other, who barely opens their mouth, yet we feel completely understood. This difference, this difference cannot be coded into an algorithm. It is felt. It is human. Here we learn how to disagree without disconnecting, how to listen without interrupting. Think back to the forest we imagined earlier. Now, imagine walking through the forest, not alone, but with others. Each person carries their own compass and sees path differently. Some may want to go left, others may insist on going right. Without social literacy, this will turn into a conflict. But with it, it turns into an exploration, collaboration, and something more meaningful than reaching the destination alone. Thiruvalluvar said this 2000 years ago. True knowledge is not about learning from the books. It is about understanding how to live with others and the world. Someone who fails to adapt or behave wisely in a society despite being well-bred lacks real wisdom. As we look toward the future of Janbira, we realize it's not enough to hand them a perfect plan or a static plan, because the future is fluid, unpredictable, and full of new paths. What they truly need from us is a full set of inner tools, like a compass that guides their curiosity, a map which lets them stay humble even in humility, and social literacy that allows them to walk the journey with others. If we equip them with this, they won't just avoid getting lost. They will craft a meaningful life where every step is an intention and every interaction matters. So let's stop asking, what world are we leaving for them? And start asking, which tool are we leaving within them? Because the future doesn't belong to those who follow the map. It belongs to those who find their way in that forest. Thank you.